What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of El Jardín Perdido. Today, we're planting tomatoes. So yeah, planting tomatoes, there's probably tons of videos out there on YouTube, but I wanted to give you guys my take on it and show you how to give your tomatoes a nice boost before you transplant them in. Right now, it's July in Houston, Texas. Definitely not an ideal time to be planting tomatoes. I got a certain variety I'll show you guys in a minute. Heat Masters, hopefully they do a little better. I do still have some of my other tomatoes hanging on, not really producing very well right now, but I have some real estate in my planter box, and I was gonna show you guys how I intend on planting them. All right guys, so I recently picked up these two Heat Masters. Looking good, nice and healthy. I've had them in the shade. I have some Epsom salt, magnesium sulfate. Just being sure that it is indeed Epsom salt and not table salt or something, because you'll kill your plants. I have a little extra compost here, and it's ideal, whatever you're gonna trellis with, this is a tomato cage. It's ideal to do that. Establish that right after you plant them. That way you're not disrupting the root system later when you have to stake them. They're all leggy and all over the place, and yeah, you're gonna be stabbing into their root system, so that's not good. And then the last secret weapon I have is this shrimp, opposed to, I don't know if you guys have heard of putting, say, fish guts or a fish head in the bottom. We're gonna try shrimp. My neighbor gave it to me last night, and then went on to play really loud music till 5 a.m. So yeah, I'm not gonna consume his shrimp, but I will use it for my tomatoes here. All right, one of the other things, I would get some scissors or pruners depending on how big your tomatoes are. The first thing that I like to do is snip off these lower branches here. Yes, you could easily use your nail, but I found that if you mess that up, you're gonna be pulling down the stem, and it's not pretty. So I'm just gonna clip all that, and it looks a little drastic, but I'm also gonna clip that one. We're left with all this. The reason why I'm doing that is, if you look closely, there's little filaments or little hairs on the stem there. These are gonna become their roots. So in a nutshell, what I'm gonna be doing is burying it up to about here. So by burying it up further, all these little filaments are gonna end up turning into roots, and it'll give it a real strong root zone before we even get some real growth here. Since I have two of them, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to this guy. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna prepare my bed here a little bit, brush all the mulch out of the way. And I'm gonna nestle these tomatoes right in here with the okra and the peppers. So I guess I'll bring you guys in and kind of show you exactly what I'm gonna be doing down here. So we have our plant here. We're gonna start by digging a nice hole. And yeah, this is a hugelkultur mound here, so we have a little bit of, we're actually already hitting into all that debris that's broken down over time a little bit. But this isn't very deep, but we're gonna put compost over it. I'm gonna take a little bit of this Epsom salt and just sprinkle it on the bottom there. I'm gonna take half this shrimp and put it down there. I'm gonna kind of cover that up a little bit. We don't want direct contact, but we want the roots to be able to get to that later. So ideally, I'd be digging this a lot deeper. Basically, since everything's broken down, this is the level of the soil. It's all kind of fallen down here. And so we're gonna add some. But basically, I'm gonna lay this tomato down. I'm just gonna start piling it up around it. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig the second hole and get the other one in there before I put the cage over that too and add more compost. You always want to, if you can help it, hang on to your labels there. So this one I can dig a little deeper, but I'm probably gonna want it at the same level. Do that Epsom salt. Throw in those scrimps. This one got a little more than the other. That's all right. We'll see how that does. Want to bury these real deep too, under some compost to make sure cats don't dig it up too. All right. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna lay this down. So all this down here is gonna root. I'm actually gonna grab some more compost too. We're gonna do a nice hefty serving here. I'm sure all these other plants could use it too. Now we're gonna just sprinkle some Epsom salt around the top there a little bit. All right, now you guys can see me struggle with assembling this tomato cage. It's really not that complicated, but let me show you guys real quick. I guess we're due for a new cage here because parts are snapping. And to be honest, I'm a pretty simple guy. Most of the time I'll just concoct things out of branches or debris from what I feed the goats and stuff like that and just make a teepee or something. But since I have this around, I'll make some use of it. All right, so now all that's left is to water it in. All right guys, so there it is. Pretty simple, but there are a few little tricks that'll help give you a nice boost with your tomatoes. If you guys want me to keep you updated on this, throw a comment down below and let me know, and I'll try to cover this when they take off a little more. Hopefully our blazing temperatures in the triple digits here doesn't deter them too much, but we are in a nice shaded spot. They still get a good amount of sun, not as much as tomatoes would love, but I will not have tomatoes out in full sun during the summer in Houston, Texas. All right guys, well that's gonna wrap up today's video. Be sure and subscribe if you wanna keep up with what I'm doing here. Also comment below if you have any additional tips that you'd like to share with everyone else. All right guys, well that's gonna do it for today. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.